Welcome back to the Accessible Art History YouTube channel. This week's video is another episode in the Museum Masterpieces series. It will be focusing on the Museo del Prado, the National Art Museum of Spain. The Prado, as it's commonly known, has one of the best collections of European art dating from the 12th to the 20th centuries. These are only 5 pieces from their magnificent collections, but they represent some of the greatness held within. The basis of the Prado's collection is actually formed by the Spanish royal collection. The Habsburgs and Bourbon dynasties were avid art enthusiasts and hosted many of the greatest names in their courts. Today, the collection boasts 8,200 drawings, 7,600 paintings, 4,800 prints, and 1,000 sculptures. This draws about 2.8 million visitors to the museum each year, making it the most popular museum in Spain and the 18th most visited museum in the world. The Museo del Prado was designed by architect Juan de Villanueva in 1785 on the orders of Charles III of Spain. His goal was to build a national history cabinet to celebrate the country's past. However, this did not happen. Instead, Charles's grandson, King Ferdinand VII, told his wife, Queen Maria Isabel de Braganza, to use the space to create a museum of the Spanish royal painting and sculpture collection. The Prado opened to the public for the first time in November 1819. Today, it forms Madrid's Golden Triangle of art, along with the Thyssen-Bornemisza National Museum and the Museo Reina Sofia. Our first work is Las Meninas by Diego Velázquez, one of the best examples of Spanish Golden Age art. It is often considered the high point of the Prado's collection. Painted in 1656, it depicts Velázquez painting a canvas that is turned away from our view. The Spanish infanta, or princess, Margarita, is front and center, surrounded by her attendants. In fact, these attendants are where the painting gets its name. Las Meninas is Spanish for ladies in waiting. In the background, there is a mirror reflecting the image of King Philip IV and Queen Mariana. What makes this painting so remarkable is the intimate conversational view it offers us. It almost breaks down the fourth wall between the viewer and the painting. We are not only invited into the space, but through eye contact with both Velázquez and the princess, we are encouraged to participate. We are allowed into a normally restricted place where all formality is stripped away. In addition, this work can be considered a visual resume for Velázquez. In the 17th century, the position of court painter was the highest one available to an artist. He used his work to showcase his talents in portraiture, perspective, and composition. It is almost as if Velázquez is trying to prove that he is worthy of such a lofty and important title. The Garden of Earthly Delights is a triptych painted by Netherlandish artist Hieronymus Bosch between 1490 and 1510. This painting is one of the strangest in art history. Not only is the intent behind it unknown, but there are some crazy details. There are a few biblical scenes, for example, the joining of Adam and Eve on the left panel. However, the fantastical elements are far more prevalent. The center panel is where the triptych gets its name. Bosch painted a beautiful garden scene filled with fascinating figures. There are creatures, both real and imaginary, enjoying paradise. Dozens of nude figures frolic, copulate, and relax all over the garden. It is a scene filled with nothing but pleasure. The right panel of this triptych could only be described as downright terrifying. It appears to take place in hell, with flames spurting out of the top of the frame. Human bodies and body parts are twisted and distorted in a freakish way. A giant bird even eats people. It is a jarring contrast to the other 2 panels. As mentioned before, the true meaning behind this painting is unknown to art historians. There is also little known about Bosch's life, so it's nearly impossible to get any clues from that. Theories range from a warning against the sins of the flesh on one end of the spectrum to a celebration of sexuality on the other. Regardless of what it actually means, this work is absolutely fascinating. Technically, our next 2 works are separate pieces, but they depict the same subject and were intended to be shown as a pair. They were painted between 1797 and 1800 by Francisco Goya. The same woman is featured in both works, the naked Maha and the clothed Maha. In one, she confidently reclines on a chair with pillows. Her eyes hold the viewers, almost daring them to look away. The second work is nearly identical. The only difference is the fact that she's wearing clothes. In fact, this is how the woman came to be identified as a Maha. Her outfit is a traditional costume associated with this social class. Art historians believe that the sitter was the mistress of the man who commissioned the work, a woman named Pepita Tudo. These paintings were commissioned by Manuel Godoy, the Prime Minister of Spain. He had a secret collection of nude paintings and used the closed version to cover it up. Unfortunately, the Inquisition caught wind of this. They put Goya, and the curator of the collection on trial for obscene material. Thankfully, Goya was able to get off without punishment. He argued that he was inspired by Titian's Danae and Velázquez's Rokeby Venus. These were two artists that were greatly admired in Spain. So, the Inquisition allowed him to continue to work in the country. In Greek mythology, the three Graces were the daughters of Zeus. Their names were Aglaia, Euphrosyne, and Thalia. They were virgins and served gods at banquets. At other times, they were attendants of Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Rubens painted them in this work, dating from 1630 to 1635. It was a personal work. It was found in his collection after his death. This is most likely because the leftmost Grace is actually a portrait of his wife Helene. It is clear that Rubens was inspired by classical sculpture. Firstly, they are nude and have a contrapposto pose. Although they have the traditional, voluptuous Rubenesque figures, their skin is white and clear like marble. However, unlike classical sculpture, there is a sense of movement. It's like they were dancing in a circle and were frozen mid-step. Rubens painted this as a testament to the love that Helene brought into his life, and it shows. Once gracing the monastery of Santo Domenico in Fiesole, a town near Florence, the Annunciation by Fra Angelico now hangs in the Prado. He painted it around 1426. Around this time, the medieval Gothic style was on the wane, while the Renaissance was on the rise. Fra Angelico mixes them both flawlessly in this work, especially when it comes to the naturalistic elements. On the left side of the painting, the viewer can see Adam and Eve being banished from the Garden of Eden. They are surrounded by beautiful plants, but their faces are filled with shame. Both are wearing clothes, a sign that they ate from the forbidden tree and realized their nakedness. An angel pushes them along, making sure that they leave forever. The majority of this painting is taken up by an Annunciation scene. The Archangel Gabriel bows to the Virgin Mary as he gives her the news that she will be the mother of the Son of God. Fra Angelico sticks with the Byzantine Gothic style for the angel. His wings are heavy and dark, while the halo around his head is prominent. Mary is also painted in a similar style as she bends forward in reverence. However, unlike Gothic art, there is a weight and three-dimensionality to the figures. It is a beautiful example of how artistic style transitioned during this period. It's also important to note that the reason Fra Angelico included these two scenes together is that Adam and Eve represented the fall of humanity, while the Virgin Mary receiving the good news represents the salvation. The Museo del Prado is an incredible testament to the rich history of European art. Remember, these are only 5 of the amazing works in their collection. Their website, excitingly, has excellent images where you can zoom in on details, so I highly recommend you check it out. These pictures have been linked in the description bar for easy access.